welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to be looking at my dust collection system and having a look 6 months on, see how it's gone, is it any good, what would I do to improve it. Like most amateur woodworkers, what I started out with was a very simple shop vac. Moved on now and I've made an adaptation and I've got one of these Cyclone dust collectors and just a normal barrel just to collect the dust as it separates. Both are easily available on Amazon and I'll try to leave a link below. One of the downsides I have found though is when you forget to open one of your blast gates and they're all closed, you do get quite a bit of collapsage in your bucket. There's nothing that doesn't just push straight back out again. So we start off here at the shop vac. We're into a cyclone that drops the dust into a drum. The dust is extracted from the machines. I've got 40mm UPVC piping. There I've got 90° T. Up into a blast gate, and then I've just got flexi pipe coming into the back of the machine. That blast gate's shut. Got a second one here. If that's open, it runs all the way around the back of my shop and comes out down here where I have two ports. My first port runs through into the back of my table saw where it's got another splitter that brings a loop up onto the fence guard. So I've got dust extraction above and below. But this other port here I use for sanding. So for the actual piping and ducting, I've got some 40mm UPVC piping and several push fit connectors. I try where possible to use these 22.5s instead of 90 degrees, but sometimes things must. I've also got a series of T's and try to set it up so that the curve is going with the airflow to try to stop it blocking. But again, these are all just push fit. And I've had no issue with leakage or anything like that. If you wanted, you could always tape it up or glue them up. But I found so far so good. I know when you look at a lot of the other systems, they talk about 6-inch piping to keep down on blockages. I've been running this for 6 months now and I've not had a single issue with it. So it's quite reliable. But if you do, it's nice and easy just to pull it apart and clear any blockages. So I'll have a quick look at my blast gates and my connectors now. These are all homemade. You can buy them in the shop, but it's really not necessary for the money that they charge. It's quite simply 3 pieces of MDF all glued together with a longer piece in the middle that's got a hole in it. As you move it, one side's open, one side's closed. Obviously as it opens it lines up with the airflow system. This is not an exact science. Sometimes things were a little bit loose. I just find a really easy workaround just being to put some gaffer tape around some tubing. Just makes it fit nice and tight. On this extra little port here I made an adapter and I've run some smaller pipe and it goes directly into my sander. Again, I've just used some duct tape just to beef out the joint, make it nice and thick and nice and tight. So when I turn that on with the sander, I get all the suction that would have gone into a bag, but now it goes directly into the filter, down into the cyclone and separates out nicely. This has improved the dust collection on my sander by about 30%, I reckon. So what's the actual dust collection like? Let's give it a quick go. Purposely unplugged it from my mitre saw last time just to leave some dust around. So make sure the blast gate's open. I'm going to turn it on. As you could see then, there's quite a bit of suction. You can see the line from where I've stopped going backwards. Likewise on this side, you can see the differences in the two halves. One of the things I do like about what I've done is because it's just standard piping, you can just buy an extra hose and you can run the floor hoover as well. I get about 3 meters worth of length out of this, and for a shop my size that's just about right. And this is where the dust ends up. As you can see there, nice and full of sawdust. So that's how it works. What do I think about it? Well, first of all, cost. Costs were really good. The shop vac I had anyway. The Cyclone cost around £20 on Amazon. Same for the bucket to collect the dust into. That was a dead easy fix. You just stencil on using the Cyclone as a guide where you're going to cut your holes, silicone, a couple of small nuts and bolts, and that's ready to go. The piping, I think I spent about £35–40 on, and that's done more than enough to get me sort of 6 meters worth of piping and some connectors, and the blast gates I've just made out of scrap that I've had lying around. One's out of MDF, I think the other one might be out of ply, but it just keeps it nice and easy, nice and cheap. So for around £80, it's improved the dust collection no end in my shop. So am I happy with it? Yeah, overall I am. For £80, I don't think you can go wrong. It's not perfect. It does need some improvement. I think for the table saw I need to box it in a bit more, make a bit more of a dust shroud, see if that would help with the extraction. Likewise with the table saw, the way I've got it set up, it's quite open underneath. It is a job site saw, so it does kick a lot of the dust down. I think again, boxed in properly with some dust collection underneath, I think that would be much better. So that's a quick look at my homemade dust collection. Hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. I'll see you next time.